infiltrating my organization. Ambushed me. Left me for dead in the jungle. So this is what I want!
What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video. And guys, like the video, give a big thumbs up. And YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. So I release great DC content every day that you don't want to miss. Now guys, I'm sorry that this review is late. Well, I pretty much tried to get the stream for the new Supergirl episode last night, but my stream was not working at all. I literally spent like an hour just trying to go through streams and it just wasn't working. So I just waited for the episode to come up on the CW app and watched it there. This episode, it was solid. It was better than last week's. I'll say that. Last week, I did not like the episode with the whole Nia. Like, I like Nia as a character, but what they did last week wasn't as good. And the whole Leviathan storyline, it's just been boring. And we went more deeper into that last week, and that was just not good. And we kind of go deeper into that in this episode, but it's executed a little better here. But pretty much what this episode's about is what we found out last week, which was one of the best parts of last week actually, was that Jeremiah died. Now you're probably like, wait, you like that he died? No, it's not that he died was the good part. It was pretty much like the emotional impact and the impact it had on Supergirl and the whole supporting cast. So in this episode, we see Kara, she's grieving. We see Alex, she's grieving a lot. Like, she's not doing good, guys. And Alex, she's going through this grieving process and she pretty much like shuns everyone out of her life, even Kelly and stuff. So she uses virtual reality to pretty much go there and grieve for a little bit, have like a little breather, get a hold of herself, but she gets stuck there because she comes Supergirl there. It actually looks pretty cool, her new costume, and she's like saving lives, and she forgets about the real world and pretty much she's stuck there and can't get out. And that's when Kelly has to go in, save her, they get out, and they figure out that virtual reality is actually kind of hijacked by Leviathan. And William, the one character, he's okay, but he's actually kind of better than this. He goes to search it out, and he actually finds the spot that old lady has kidnapped all these people and has them stuck in virtual reality. And William doesn't see nothing because they pretty much hide. They use like this hologram thing to hide all the people and the old lady. So he leaves and he hasn't figured out anything, but I'm pretty sure he's a target now with Leviathan. So that's what happens in the episode. So in a way, it doesn't push the whole Leviathan story any farther. Like, we're in the same spot. We know that all these people are stuck in VR. They can't get out and Leviathan is controlling them. And their whole goal is to control even more people. But we don't know their end game. And guys, like I said, Leviathan, they're boring. Like, I don't like this villain as much. Like, they're not adapting it from the comics correctly, which Leviathan in the comics with Bendis, like, I know there's two types of Leviathan in DC Comics. There's the one with Talia al Ghul and Batman stuff, which that one's great. Then there's the one with Superman and it's like in the whole Brian Michael Bendis stories now, and that's just boring. Like, I stopped reading that comic because it's just so like nothing was happening. Every time we saw a mystery, it would take so long to finally find the answer and just be underwhelming. Where here, they're doing a whole different path. They're doing the whole VR thing, which that could be interesting, but it's been the least interesting thing this season. Like, Supergirl is kind of stuck in an interesting spot. Like, the stuff where we have like guest stars, like the 100th episode, which you could say was totally separate from everything else, was great. I really like that. And the whole Supergirl and Lena rivalry has been great this season. Lex Luthor has been great. And then the whole thing with like Wayne coming back, that was cool. And the post-crisis Supergirl was getting really great. But then once we started getting back into that Leviathan storyline with like the episode Bodyguard, which was a couple episodes ago, it was boring. Like, I did not like it. It wasn't as interesting, not a lot to talk about. And then last episode, we didn't really, there's not that much on Leviathan. The story there, I didn't really like it, so it felt very filler. And you could say this episode is filler too, but I like what they do with Alex, guys. I like the whole trauma and how she's grieving. It's actually pretty emotional, and how they bring the whole thing of Jeremiah together is very well done. Like, we've been wondering, where's Jeremiah ever since season 2? Like, he went missing after that whole Cadmus storyline, and then he was never seen again. And I'm like, that was a big plot hole. But now it's finally answered, and we find out he just died. Like, he died off screen, which kind of sucks, but it adds to emotional impact. And it adds a little emotional weight to the season, because so far there hasn't been as much emotion. Like, yeah, we had Brand 5, Lex Luthor playing cool stuff, but not a lot of emotion where, like, the show, like, the actors are good at acting. we haven't had like those amazing scenes that we're used to. And this episode we see that with Kara and Alex. That scene at the beginning where Alex is just yelling at everybody, shouting at them, which at first I was like, man, Alex is just a jerk. Like, she's acting like a jerk. But when you look at the whole thing, she's like grieving. It actually kind of makes sense. And her relationship with Kelly, even though it hasn't been the best, it's better in this episode. And when Kelly actually uses like Alex's younger self to bring her back, it was actually an interesting way to cap it off. It was really well done. And the final scene with like Alex in the VR, where she's fighting off all like Brainiac 5, Nia, John, all of them off, it actually looks really good. Now the problems I have with this is the CGI here is a little iffy. Like for Supergirl being one of like the big budget shows in the CW, it doesn't really show here. Like that scene where she fights off a dragon, like it's a cool scene, but the dragon looks terrible. Like, it does not look good. And then certain scenes, they just kind of stick out, and I'm like, that does not look good. I wish they put more time into it and made it look better. But still, it was a good storyline, and I like it. But I wish we didn't go into the trippy part too soon. Like, we find out, oh yeah, like the one girl that Alex like met, Bonnie, she's stuck there, and the guy who's singing, he's stuck there, which is like little hints throughout the episode. But halfway through the episode, we're already into that part where Alex is stuck there, and she's like pretty much buying into it, and Kelly has to get her out. Where I wish we stuck into the pretty much with Alex, saving people. Like the best scene in this episode for me is where she fights off Hank Henshaw and pretty much Cyborg Superman, and he's great here. Like the guy who plays John Marsh Manhunter and Hank Henshaw here is so good at acting. I remember the actor back in season 2 hated playing Cyborg Superman because he was so dull. He's one of the worst parts of season 2. Like, he's just not that good. He's boring to look at, and when he like the scenes he was in were just boring. But here he gets to act out, and he's fighting off Alex's Supergirl. It's really good. I like that. It was like, okay, this is actually a fun episode. But then after that, he was beat so quickly, and then we went into the trippy side of things. So, Alex can't get out. She's buying into it. Where I wish we actually stuck into that part of the episode where it was more fun, and she's facing off against Cyborg Superman a little longer. Because that was my favorite part of the episode. And for that to just end so quickly and to get into the conflict was kind of a missed opportunity. But still, it was an interesting episode, a little filler, and Leviathan is still not interesting villains. They really need to wrap that up, like make Leviathan great villains. They only have about 4 episodes. I don't like them. Like Lex Luthor's awesome. He's one of the best parts of the season. Lena and Kara are great, and Alex's storyline with Kelly's great. But this whole VR thing and Leviathan is just not hating, guys. Like, I don't feel it at all. It's not a great storyline. But in this case, I did like Alex going there to grieve and pretty much deal with her trauma. Like, that was good. Her storyline was good, but the VR thing is just not interesting. It's just kind of generic right now. But yeah, guys, overall, it's a decent episode. Not one of the best of the season. It's still watchable. It's better than last episode by like miles. Like, it's way better than last episode. But it's not at the quality we're used to. But I'm still going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I do recommend it. Go check it out. It's interesting. And if you're a big fan of Alex like I am, like I like the character, she's great. She's been great since the first season of Supergirl. She's always been like that good supporting character. And if you're a big fan of John, his actor, which I think it's David Harewood, I think that's the actor, he plays it great. Like, he is awesome season this episode. Same with Alex and Kara. There's some great scenes that show the emotional impact that Kara and Alex are dealing with Jeremiah's death. Like, that's really good. The Leviathan stuff does hold it down a little bit, but I still recommend it, guys. And I hope next week actually looks pretty interesting. It's going to be more about Lex Luthor, which that's my favorite part about this season. But after that, we have 3 episodes, and the end game for this whole storyline with Leviathan is still not revealed. Like, I don't know where this show is going. So they need to start picking up the pace and get me more interested in the main storyline. Like, I like all these side storylines with Lex Luthor, Alex, I like those. But the main storyline, I'm not intrigued yet. So, guys, in the comment section below, tell me what you thought about this episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think about Alex being Supergirl? Did you think that was cool? What did you think about David Harewood pretty much playing Cyborg Superman again and playing all these different characters? What do you think about Leviathan? Do you think they're interesting villains, or do you think they're boring like I do? And are you excited for the rest of the season of Supergirl? But guys, if you like the video, give a big thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Because I release great decent content every day that you don't want to miss. And yeah, guys, that's the video. And peace out.